So this is a real funny one, right? But it's very significant. It has played a lot of significant roles in my life. And I want to start from the first real one. That I think this has to be somewhere in my teen years. And that was my first foray into that whole aspect of maybe a relationship or something, teen years or early 20s. And there was this guy that, sort of dating, or I would say that, I don't even know whether it was dating or talking, but it was just somebody who used to come and then, pick me up for ice cream, and, we used to talk a lot. So I thought that I had something going. But only to find out that even though I was the target at the time, I was the main person, whenever I heard of him or I knew he was coming, I got really excited and everything. It was actually generally, a whole story of who can get the most number of certain kind of ladies. And so I fell in that trap together with a couple of friends of mine, of course. So it was just buying us ice cream and talking. But then I realized that just not far along the line, that there was somebody else that he was also doing the same, also dating, who was a friend of mine. Then all of a sudden, the whole season of my whole ice cream topmost pickup time was over. And he had moved on to the next person, doing the same exact things. But I thought, still try and talk to him and find out what exactly is it, And I don't even know why. So I went to one of his friends, tried to get his friend to talk to him, that I just want to see him for 5 minutes, but I summoned him. And then when he came, I remember I was confused as to what to say, and I was so hurt by what he had done. But I eventually just had a conversation with him, and I said, in typical young, I don't know my left from my right. Then he said, this is your left, and this is your right. Then I said, so, what does that mean? He said, sometimes it means that your left and your right can be different, and you must be relevant. I never understood that word relevance. And the reason why I brought that childhood or teen-like story was that over the years in life and in business, I began to sense, because this cycle happened again in a more mature relationship. And I failed at that one too. I didn't win that one too. Somebody else did. Then it actually was one of the things that drove me into all the areas of lifestyle that I operated. There's something that I started to call the reality of relevance. So what makes one truly relevant in life? And it made me fully understand when I got further in life into business. When you sit at a table for a discussion, or you have an interview and the person leaves, or you are trying to facilitate a coaching session, and always this question comes in business all the time. What does the person bring to the table? Simply meaning that, what's your relevance or what's your value? So it made me begin to study this concept a little bit about the reality of relevance, starting from in my young age, not being relevant and losing. In my mature relationship, not being relevant and losing. At a business table, what do you bring to the table? And I was frozen as to what to say. Then I realized I was on the other side of the table, and this question kept being asked as I grew up in my work life, in banking, even as an entrepreneur. Then I started to understand that your reality of relevance is embedded in two key words. First, your recognizability, and second, your memorability. You first, as a business person, as an individual, as someone who is moving down the career level, be it whatever you're doing, and in relationships that we engage in across life, love, labor, your reality of relevance lies in your ability to be recognizable and to be memorable in that relationship, period. Meaning that whenever you engage anybody or prior to your engagement, your preparation must involve what do I want this person, these people, this company to recognize about me. Secondly, what do I want this person, this people, this company to remember intentionally about me? Remembering is different from being memorable. Someone can remember you today and forget you tomorrow. But intentional rememberability is actually memorability that keeps you in the minds of people for a lifetime. Meaning that you would be part of a legacy conversation even going into the future. Meaning that people will remember you and have memories that would include you. What did my time in your life do? What did my time in your space do? What did my time in your place do? Is the true reality of relevance. And I realized that in the relationships that I lost, in the business deals that I lost, in the opportunities that I lost, every time I had a moment to engage, I would either forget to be recognizable or forget to be memorable. Key is, you may not always be recognizable, but you must always be memorable. The reality of our relevance always lies in our ability to be recognizable and memorable in every space, in every place, at every stage, and at every time. Those opportunities can be missed if you don't intentionally develop yourself as a person of relevance. Prepare to be recognizable and project to be memorable. With that, you would always say, I have lived the reality of relevance.